Hi everybody, welcome to all of you. This is our third session, me with Lindsay, showing you ways to get fit safely and easily at home. Today we're going to do cardio, the importance of a really healthy heart and lung system in our bodies. So I'm going to start by asking Lindsay just why this is so important when we're older.
Hi everybody, welcome to session 3. Well done for making it so far. It's really good to hear that you've all been trying the exercises and in some cases enjoying them, so that's fantastic. So today we're going to talk about cardio fitness, really important at any age actually, but particularly as we get older because the tendency is to get a little bit more sedentary. So why is cardiovascular fitness important? Well, basically, if you don't work your heart and lungs, then they're going to wear out just like any other muscle in the body. The heart is a muscle that needs to be worked, and the kind of aerobic exercise that we'll do today and some of the other examples that we'll talk about will all help to work the heart muscle. So as the heart muscle gets stronger, it becomes more efficient. And I remember when I was doing my training course all those years ago, and it was an image that they used that has stuck with me. And they talked about a tomato ketchup bottle. And if you imagine one of those plastic ones that kind of sits upside down on the table, if you squeeze that and a little bit of ketchup comes out, but actually you want more, then you have to keep squeezing it to get what you need. Where if you give it one big squeeze and a lot comes out, then obviously that is more efficient. And it's very similar with the way that the heart functions. So if you strengthen it, in each beat, the heart is going to send more blood around the body. So it doesn't need to stress the heart by beating lots and lots of times to get the same amount of blood. So that means often when you condition your heart and lungs, not only do they become more efficient, but often your resting heart rate goes down as well, because the heart it's not stressed in the same way. So it doesn't have to work as hard to get the same amount of effort. So that's got to be in everybody's benefit. With regard to the lungs, they also start to work more efficiently, so they can take in more oxygen and send it around the body much more efficiently. So heart and lungs can both be conditioned by doing the kind of exercise that we're going to do today. There's also lots and lots of other things. I mean, I've got a list as long as my arm of the kind of benefits that come with cardiovascular fitness. So all of those diseases, heart disease, etc., strokes, doing cardiovascular exercise regularly will help prevent some of those diseases. You'll also find that because it's working more effectively, blood pressure will often come down. You tend to metabolize food better, in particular sugar, because we need energy when we're exercising cardiovascularly. So you'll take some of that blood sugar out of the bloodstream when you're doing the exercise, which is really good with regard to diabetes, particularly type 2 diabetes, and it can help prevent the onset of type 2 diabetes. We can also see effects in terms of cholesterol, so that's another positive. And there's also lots of other mental benefits that come with cardiovascular exercise as well. So we tend to be less stressed if we do it on a regular basis. We tend to feel happier when we've done cardiovascular exercise. And generally it can just lift the mood and make you feel a whole lot better about life. So all of those things have got to be a good thing. And so let's talk a bit about the kind of activities that you can do to get those cardiovascular benefits. So cycling is obviously one, and you've got your little bike behind. I know you've talked a lot about that, but I don't know if you've ever actually shown people the bike.
So what I do, I tend to do this when I've got my television here. I turn it sideways so that I'm right in front of my television, so that my mind is occupied by something that's quite interesting, and then I can really as far as I can, push myself on this. I'm trying to up the ante, because otherwise you just do the same old. So I actually start quite fast, and I try and keep that going. Now at the moment I haven't got very much resistance, but every 5 minutes, and this is obviously timing as I go, I will up the resistance by a couple of turns of the dial, so that by the end I'm actually doing it against quite a strong resistance, but I'm still keeping the same speed. So this is about the speed that I do for half an hour, and all the time I'm keeping an eye on the various measurements that the bike is taking, so that I can do it in terms of what I'm used to doing and seeing if I can get a little bit better each time. What I aim for on here is I do it 30 minutes. My thing that I'm aiming for, I'm not sure I'm actually using 500 calories, but I get to that 500 mark. And I think I've done about 22 kilometers. So again, I'm not sure how accurate those measurements are. For me, it's a really, really good way to feel. You see, I put out breath when I'm speaking. While I'm usually speaking. It is a way for me to feel that I've got my heart rate up, and I've actually used a fair amount of energy to be able to do it at that level. And I say it works for me really well. And I feel I'm competing against myself all the time, and I'm trying all the time just to make sure that I'm doing it a little bit more, rather than, you know, plateauing and keeping it steady, because I feel that my body needs to just be, as I said, to be stretched a little bit more, and then of course I can do it, which is always a big surprise. And you know, don't forget, I've been using that bike for 3 years, so it's taken me quite a long time. I was very slow to start with, but it's taken me quite a long time, and now I have got it to quite a good level of energy that I use, let's put it that way.
So that's a really good example of cardiovascular exercise. But for everybody that doesn't have a bike at home, let's think of some other ones. So walking might be one, dancing might be another, skipping, probably a bit high impact, but skipping would be one. Lots and lots of things out there that can get you a bit breathless, and that's really what we're looking for, which brings me on to the next point: how much and how often. So the government guidelines say 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week, and that 150 minutes can be broken down any which way. So you could break it down 30 minutes, 5 days a week, and even within that 30 minutes on any one day, that can be broken down further. So it really depends on where you're at the moment in terms of your own cardiovascular fitness. And as Tricia says, you're going to build up over time. The other point that Tricia just touched on, you could see that when she'd been on the bike for just a few minutes, her breathing started to change, and she was starting to struggle to speak as fluently as she normally might. And that is a really important point with regard to cardiovascular exercise. So we need to push the body slightly out of its comfort zone in order to get the benefits that I described earlier on. So if you do what you've always done and the body doesn't have to make any extra effort at all, then that is not going to realize those benefits. So you need to push yourself slightly beyond your comfort zone. And that's where moderate exercise comes in. So they're trying to kind of tell you there that you can't just go out and walk and not really feel any difference, have a little amble, a little stroll. That's great. It's better than nothing. But to get those benefits, you need to go just a little bit harder. And I just wanted to tell you about a scale that some of my clients have found quite useful, which is called the rate of perceived exertion scale. And you can use different numbers. I like to use a simple 1 to 10 scale, with 1 being when you get out of bed in the morning and you're doing absolutely no activity whatsoever. So you're completely chilled out and the body's not having to work at all, through to 10, where you literally could not do any more, otherwise you'd collapse. So in order to assess where you are on that scale, and it's not about a comparison with another person, it's about your individual assessment of where you are at any one point in time on that scale. Now, in order to get the benefits or to get to the moderate exercise, you need to get to about number 5 or 6 out of 10. So you need to feel like there's some effort going on, but you're nowhere near collapsing. It's not too much. So listen to your body, and I'll be talking about that scale as we go through today and asking Tricia where she feels that she's at. And already you could see that when she started to breathe a bit more heavily, she would have been progressing up that scale and starting, I don't know, I mean, it's up to Tricia to assess where she would be. But if I was watching somebody, I would think, okay, so they are starting to work and put themselves a little bit out of that comfort zone. Okay. So there we are. That's an overview of cardiovascular exercise. And I suppose in summary, it's lots and lots and lots of benefits to come from it, but you need to do a certain amount of it, and you need to make sure that you're pushing yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, but not too much. Okay, shall we do some work?
Let's do it.
As always, we're going to start with a warm-up, and that warm-up will be relevant to what we're going to do later on. So Tricia, can you start and walk on the spot for me, please? So just a standard walk on the spot, that's it. Now, I want you to start circling your shoulders as you do this. And that's it. And just start to get you breathing going. So you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Reverse the circle. That's it, perfect. Good. Okay, now you're going to tap out to the side with your toe, back to the center, and then the other side. That's it. So alternate sides. Good. Now, as you're doing this, swing your arms through. A bit of coordination challenge going on here. That's perfect. So you don't have to go too high with your arms at this stage. You're just keeping it nice and gentle. Lovely. Good. Okay. Release the arms then and start to lift your knees up towards your chest. Alternate sides. So you've got your tummy lightly drawn in. Keep nice and light on the feet. Keep it nice and light on the feet. There you go. Good job. Okay, now keep that going and push out at chest height with your hands. So keep your knee raised and push out at the same time. Out and in, yeah, and back in. Other side, that's it. That's it. And then keep those arms going and tap to the back. Yep. So what we're trying to do here is gradually raise the heart rate. So we're not rushing into the exercise, we're preparing the body slowly for what we're about to ask it to do. So they're moves that are relevant to what's about to come. Good. And then hold it in the center, feet are hip width apart, a few little squats, not too low, nice and gentle, bottom to the back, knees back from the toes, making sure that you move through the legs and not the upper body. Good. And then hold at the top, take your feet out wide, and then kick your bottom from there. So foot to bottom, one side and then the other. That's good. So just working through the knees here. Lovely. Okay, so hold your feet still for me and reach down from one side to the other.
Like that?
Yep. And then the other side. Keep the arms nice and loose. Don't rush through so it's not jerky. Keep it nice and smooth. Brilliant. Good. And then you're going to rotate from one side to the other. So again, nice and easy. Brilliant. Okay, so hopefully you feel a bit warmer and ready for the main action. So how we're going to run this, we're going to do 8 moves, and we're going to do each of those 8 moves for 40 seconds. You're going to have 20 seconds break before we go into the next one. Okay, so this is just a very easy way to get your cardiovascular exercise at home with little or no equipment at all. All right, so first one, let's get my timer on. First one, we are going to march on the spot, but I want to make it with really strong arms this time. Okay, so I've got the clock here. We're going to go 40 seconds. About halfway through, I'm going to start to make it a bit more difficult for those people that want that harder option. Okay, so I'll start with a slightly easier version and then we'll make it a bit harder second half. All right. So just start with a nice strong march on the spot. We're doing 40 seconds. You ready? Go. That's it. Use your arms.
Use your arms.
Use your arms, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Keep your arms bent so they're going to kind of power you. That's it. Good. So you want strong, powerful movements. The bigger you make your movements, the harder it's going to be and the higher the heart rate will be raised. So now I want you to go faster, Tricia. Make it faster, faster, faster. You've only got 10 seconds now. So if you want more, this is what you take it to. So you make it as fast as you can. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, good. So you've got 20 seconds rest now. And for the next one, you're going to tap your foot behind. You'll start with your hands on your hip, and then we're going to add the arms in to make it harder. All right. Ready? So you've had your 20 seconds. So let's start with taps to the back. 40 seconds. Let's go. That's it. Yeah. Keep it moving. Good. That's it. So you can go at whatever pace is right for you. The important thing is that you start to feel the heart and lungs having to work a bit harder. So you're having to take in more breath. You might start to feel a bit warmer. You might start to feel that you're sweating a bit. Now add the arms in, Tricia. So arms come to the front, straight arms to the front. That's it. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. 20 seconds off. You okay?
Yeah.
Starting to breathe a bit more heavily.
Yeah.
All right, so our next one is going to be knees up, and then we'll add the arms in halfway through. All right, so knees up to chest. We did it in the warm-up, but you can take them a bit higher now that you're warmer. Ready? Mm-hmm. Let's go. That's it. So keep nice and light on the feet, because if you're light on the feet, you're going to feel the core working. Good. So keep that going nice and strong. And then we're going to add a chest press. So punch to the front, punch out to the front. Both arms together might make it a bit easier. If you punch both of them, that's it. Good. Punch, punch. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Good. So if I ask you where you were on the scale now?
About halfway.
About halfway. Good. So about 5. So we're kind of getting to where we want to be. So that's really good. And you can see that Tricia's got water there. That's also really important to keep hydrated. So I'd always have some water to hand with any exercise actually, but particularly cardiovascular. Okay, so now I'm going to make it a little bit harder, and we're going to do a very light double time. I don't want to call it a run because it's not a run, but I want you to, you'll see double time feet on the floor. Okay, and we'll add the arms in when we're halfway through again. Are you ready? Yeah. Let's go then. So you're going double time on the floor. That's it. Keep it nice and light. Nice one. So if anybody doesn't like this at all, then you can just take it back to a march, a really strong march. You've always got the option to drop back to a march if you prefer. But for now, keep your feet moving, Tricia. Go, go, go. I know you can go fast on this. Now let's start to add the punches to the front. Punch, punch, punch to the front. That's it. Good. Time to take your stress out. Good. Punch, punch. Last 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Brilliant. Good. So that one probably got the heart beating even a little bit more. If you feel like your heart is going too high and it gets too much, and as always, I didn't say it at the beginning, but with any exercise program, you need to check with the doctor to make sure that it's right for you first. But if you are in the middle of it and you feel like your heart rate's going a bit too high and you don't feel comfortable, then just take the intensity down. It's best not to stop completely. Take the intensity down and just walk it through slowly until you feel ready to join back in, or in fact, you take a break completely. But in other words, don't just stop and listen to your body. So I'm going to give you another slightly more challenging one, Tricia. We're going to use a chair, please. So we're going to do a sit to stand. So you're going to sit at the front of the chair. I've done this before with you. So you'll just sit down and then stand up again, but you're going to keep it going as fast as you can. Okay, start relatively slowly and then we'll pick up the pace halfway through. Ready? Yeah. Let's go then. So sit back and up. Now, just make sure that your feet are sufficiently far away from the chair so that your knees are not going over your toes. That's it, perfect. And come to a complete stand and you're trying to keep it moving. That's beautiful, good. Push through the heels on the way up. All right, so this is the second half. So if you want to push a bit harder and go a bit faster, good. You're on your last 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and stop. Well done. Good job. So chair can go out of the way and get your breath back and take a break. Okay?
Yeah.
So next one, we're going to actually use punches. So you're going to do that uppercut, so that punch up. So you're punching the fist up to the ceiling and you're going to do one side and then the other. So you're getting a twist through the body as you do it. So nice and strong with the arms. Let's get the stopwatch back. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go. Punch, punch. That's it. You can move your body at the same time. Punch, get your shoulders going. Punch, punch, punch. Good. Don't have to go right over your shoulder, but make it nice and strong. Good. Get that twist around through the body if you can. Now, if you want to make this harder, you make it faster. So it's punch, 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 one side to the other. Go, 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 go. Lovely. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. So where would you say you are on the scale now?
Yeah, it's gone up a bit, 6, 7.
Yeah, okay. So you can monitor it. You're used to doing some of this work, so I wouldn't be concerned if you were going up towards a 7. But if you're doing this for the first time, I would keep an eye on where you are on your own perceived exertion scale, and if necessary, just slow the movements down. All right, so next one, we're going to be tapping out to the side. So it's alternate legs out to the side, yeah. And then halfway through, I'll add the arms in. All right. Yeah. So you ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Go. That's it. So make it nice and strong with the legs. Keep it moving. If you wanted to add a little kind of hoppy thing in the middle, you can do, but I'm not going to encourage. Yes. Oh, fantastic. Very impressive. So that's an option. You don't have to do that. Now add the arms in. So you're out to the side with the arms. Yes. Lovely. So if you don't want the hoppy thing, you just take it back to low impact. That's it. Yep.
Coordination's gone a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. And stop. Well done. Very good demonstration. I'm super impressed with the hop in the middle. Have a little bit of a rest. All right, next one. We're going to sit low, bottom towards the back, weight in the heels. Make sure that the tummy's lightly drawn in. And you're going to walk one way and then the other way. So towards us and then back again. That's it, staying in that position. Good. So the lower you sit with this, the harder you're going to work. That's it, perfect. So just the very fact of sitting low should be causing the heart to have to work a bit harder. Now, if you want to speed this up, you can take it up into a shuffle. So do you want to have a go at shuffling, Tricia? If you stand up higher for that, yeah, stand up higher for your shuffle. There you go. That's it. So it's just a little shuffle side to side. Keep going, you're nearly there. One more go up and down. That's it. Good, and then you're finished. Well done. So come back to the center and just walk on the spot. So just like I was saying earlier on, so a little march on the spot. As I was saying earlier on, you don't want to do your cardio and then just suddenly stop. You need to bring the heart rate down gradually back to its original resting rate. So march on the spot and then eventually slow it down, bring it to a tiny march, and then you can stop. But don't just stop completely. Don't just stop dead. Good. Beautiful. Okay, so how did you find that?
Yeah, I mean, nothing felt desperately difficult, but I could feel my heart rate going up significantly, and obviously I was getting out of breath a fair few times there, especially when you made it more difficult.
Yeah. So obviously we're dealing with people that will have quite a wide range of experience with regard to cardio. So if you haven't done any cardio at all or not for a while and you're not used to that kind of work, then stick with the easier option that we showed you in the first half of each move. If you're a bit more used to it and you want to push on a little bit harder, then go with the second part of what we showed you, so the harder option in each case. So we've done once around. You probably can do twice around, and if you're feeling super energetic, then you can do 3 times around. So you want to, it depends on, I talked about 150 minutes 3 times a week. It's up to you how you get that 150 minutes. So you could get it in other ways other than what we've just shown you. But if you are trying to get all of that 150 minutes from doing what we've just done, then you'll have to break it down and work that out over the days. So if you want to do, 1 round of this and do it more than once in the day, that's fine. If you want to do it 2 or 3 times, so we've done 8 moves. So if you did that 3 times, that would be 24 minutes. So that's quite a good chunk of your cardio in any one day. So it's entirely up to you to break it down how you want. Similarly, I've done 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. But if you prefer to work for a little less time, you could do 30 seconds of work and 30 seconds of rest. So it's really about adapting it to suit yourself. But all the while, bear in mind that if you're going to get those benefits that we talked about, and they are extensive, then make sure that you're just pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. And that's a very personal thing, and it's for you to decide. Any questions, Tricia?
No, I think you've made it very, really clear. And what's good about this is, as you've seen, you don't need any equipment. You just need a bit of space and possibly a stopwatch to time yourself. But outside of that, all you're doing is finding different and perhaps more interesting ways to move your body at pace, so that you just get your heart rate up and feel that you're a little bit out of breath. But you're doing that in a what's the word? in a sequence that makes sense, and something you can repeat and and keep doing, basically. So it's an absolutely brilliant way to get this extra cardiovascular activity, which, as Lindsay says, is going to be enormously beneficial to you.
So can we just stretch out the legs as we have done before? So if you can soften through the knees, bring one foot out to the front for a hamstring stretch. If you go side on, maybe then people can see. There you go. So one foot, so bend into the back leg. There, yeah. Front leg straight, and you're sticking the bottom up to the sky. Don't need to bring the upper body too far forward. You should be able to feel the stretch without bringing it forward, and then swap over. So you're sticking your bottom right up to the ceiling, and you should feel a stretch in the upper part of the leg at the back. It might go towards your knee at the back as well. If it does, that's fine. It's just where you happen to be tight. Good, perfect. Let's do the front of the thigh stretch. So hold on to the wall if you want to. Take a hold of your foot. Make sure you're standing tall. That's it. Foot comes towards the bottom, and you feel a stretch down through the front of the thigh. As I said last time or the time before, if you can't get a hold of your foot, then you can use a strap, or you could get down on the floor. I'd prefer for people not to be getting up and down off the floor when you've done some cardio work. So try and use a strap or a scarf around the ankle. So if you can do it without holding on, that's absolutely fine. You're going to work your balance at the same time. But if you find that in not holding on, you're wobbling around and it makes it harder to concentrate on the stretch, then my recommendation would be that you hold the wall and get the proper stretch. Good. Then if you turn to face the wall, put the hands on the wall and take a big step. So one foot towards the wall, one foot out to the back. Yeah. And then ease the weight through. So bend into that front leg, leaving the back heel down. Tricia's feet are just slightly off camera, but for reference, both of your feet for this should be flat on the floor. That's it. Now, also make sure that you're breathing through your stretches. And then swap sides. So as always, 10 to 15 seconds on these stretches. Just going back to our conversation earlier, you can also put some music on when you're doing your cardio. It's quite motivational if you get music on, and bring in your own moves as well. It doesn't have to be our moves. It's anything, a dance move, could be whatever brings you joy, just to get your heart rate up. So Tricia, just over the top with your hands, side bend. And then swap sides. So breathing in and breathing out. As you go over to the sides, thinking length out through your fingertips. Good, and then a nice easy rotation just to finish off. Just from one side to the other, yeah, just to ease out the back. So you should find that by the time you've cooled down after your cardio, so you've brought your heart rate down by walking more slowly, and done your stretches, you should feel exactly like you did at the beginning. So there should be no exertion by the time you finish your stretches, but you should feel much, much better for having done the moves. So I hope that you do, and I hope you enjoy it. And let us know how you get on.
Absolutely. And good luck, everybody. As Lindsay says, hope you enjoy it. Hope you have a go, and good luck. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.